Today is Thursday, November the 10th. I am your host, Casey Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. You know, it is so weird. This week has just flown by. Tomorrow's going to be Friday, and I don't know. I just feel like it is sort of I don't want to say a hamster wheel, but, or maybe Groundhog's Day or something. It's like you're doing it over and over and over and over again. And it takes some getting used to. And yeah, that's just kind of been on my mind. Everything's just flying by. We have 15 days till Christmas. And then right after that, then it's a week until New Year's. That's crazy. So we're less than a month away from a new year, because everything's just went by so fast. So I'm processing that. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and get right into this and say what my daily thought is. And it's about frequency. And honestly, with what I was talking about just a second ago, along with a few other things, my frequency is off a little bit. So yeah, everything has its own frequency. And I was thinking about that because I had heard someone say that if you try to explain something to someone, no matter how many different ways you try to explain it, if they're vibrating on a different frequency than you, they're not going to get it. No matter how much you try to explain, you can be blue in the face and say what you feel you have to say at the moment. They're not going to get it. And I was just thinking about frequency and being aware of frequencies. Like for me, when I was talking about a few days ago, I don't like talking about people dying and things like that, even though I know death is part of life. I just don't want to dwell in that energy. That energy is a frequency. I don't want to vibrate at that frequency. I'd rather think about happier things. Just like, self-pity. That's the frequency I don't want to dwell in. I don't want to vibrate at that frequency. Your goal is to vibrate at it doesn't necessarily have to be the highest frequency possible, but I guess you could say the purest frequency possible. The purest and the cleanest is what I mean by that. Free of radicals, free of that negative energy is the frequency you always want to tune into when you can. And whether you're tuning into abundance financially, whether you're tuning into excellent health, whether you're tuning into love, whether you're tuning into empathy, whether you're tuning into enriching personal relationships, whether you're tuning into knowledge as well, gathering more information, doing that, you have to be at the right frequency so you can receive, because all of this is happening through energy. And I was talking to my ex about this today because he's into doing a lot of research and stuff. And he was talking about aliens and former gods and all this other stuff. And I said, well, my thing is I believe in energy. Everything is connected through energy. No matter what it is connected through energy. As for what the source of that energy is, that everything is connected and flows into, You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it higher power or whatever. That that's still a mystery to me and to a lot of people, which it'll always be. Where he was saying some things and I said, well, no one really knows what the truth is when it comes to the whole thing. What I do know is that energy does exist. I know that energy, it can affect things. That's why I did that episode. Be careful with who and how you share your energy, because that energy will determine the frequency that you're operating at. That's why it's such a big deal. If someone always has a woe is me attitude and you're interacting with them regularly, their energy is messing with your energy, which then it changes your frequency. As it changes your frequency, you start to match that woe is me attitude, because you can't really match it if you're at two different frequencies. When they're bringing in that energy, if you're not on that frequency to receive that energy, it's going to be difficult to match it. But if they're constantly around you, and you constantly deal with each other, and then you just pick up more and more of their energy and you're sharing more and more of your energy, your frequency starts to change. Your frequency may be up here, but then it starts to go down here, or it may be here and it goes up here. And then your frequencies start to sync. And then your frequency is on that woe is me. And you understand exactly what they're saying because you're on that same frequency now, where you weren't before. You might have been in abundance and everything else, but the woe is me energy came in and totally changed what frequency you were on. So that's why I did that episode. Be careful with who and how you share your energy, because that will affect your frequency. And your frequency is what you use to communicate not just with other people, but to communicate with the universe. How can you communicate with the universe saying that you want abundance and asking the universe for that, and you're on a different frequency? The frequency for abundance is totally different than the woe is me frequency. The universe is going to be like, wait a second, I don't get what you're saying. You're on a different frequency. I need you to adjust your frequency, because you're on a woe is me. I don't understand that. What are you asking for? But when you adjust your frequency, then to what the universe can understand, if you adjust your frequency to abundance, the universe can understand, oh, that's the abundance frequency. That's what they want. Because it's abundance to abundance. But you can't do woe is me, and I'm just throwing out an example. You can't do woe is me to abundance because they're on two different frequencies. But you can do abundance to abundance. Those can match up. The universe can deliver on that frequency because it understands what you're asking for. So that's why frequency is really, really important. That's why energy is important. But energy determines your frequency. It determines what you're operating at and how you are understood by people. Or if you're able to be understood by people. If you're able to be understood by the universe. If you're able to communicate to people. If you're able to communicate to the universe. If you're on the right frequency. And if you're not on the right frequency and you're communicating to an individual that's on a different frequency, then odds are you're going to go right past each other. What's being said is going to go right past each other because you haven't lined up so you can connect to meet on the same frequency. So frequency is important. Just like when I was talking about reputation yesterday, it doesn't hurt from time to time just to do a little check to see where things are at with reputation. The same thing applies to frequency. I'm not saying check your frequency every single day just to see what you're vibrating at. I'm not saying that. You can, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying from time to time, check to see what frequency you're on. Check to see how you're able to communicate with other people and how you're able to receive communication from other people too. Because again, if you're on two different frequencies, whatever communication that you're receiving from someone, the words are probably going to go right by each other, is what's going to happen. So yeah, frequency is a big thing. For you to receive communication from the universe, you have to be on the frequency that the universe is choosing to communicate on. It's almost like with, I don't want to say walkie-talkies, but you know those things where, or let's just say the radio, the truckers use. They have different channels and stuff. Or to break it down even further, with channels, TV channels. If you're talking about a show on, you're on the phone with someone, you're talking about a show on BET, but they're watching Nickelodeon. You're talking about The Haves and Have-Nots by Tyler Perry. They're talking about SpongeBob. And you're like, wait, what? And you're telling them the stuff and they're not getting it. And it's like, but no. What? I thought we were watching the same thing. No, you're on Nickelodeon. I'm on BET. We're not watching the same thing right now. We're not on the same frequency. So yeah, same thing with, like I said, with the truckers and the scanning of the radios and stuff. They have different, radios have different channels. You have to tune in to the same channel so you can communicate with each other. If they're on channel 1 and you're on channel 2 on the CB, then you're talking into channel 2, but there's nobody there to receive it because you're on a totally different frequency. You're on channel 1 on the CB. So then the communication is lost. It's just lost in the universe. Frequency is important. And it doesn't hurt to evaluate what your frequency is from time to time. And that is all I have for my daily thought. So yeah. All right. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. Welcome to the people on Pandora, because now the podcast is on Pandora along with iHeartRadio. And I have another announcement too. I am adding some more stuff to the Keeping It Real with KC show. It will be in the entertainment part of the show. I'm waiting for I'm getting everything together. I will make the official announcement once everything is fully done. But right now I'm making an announcement that I'm adding something to Keeping It Real with KC. And it was something that I've been fighting with, but I'm tired of fighting it, because you know how some things just call out to you and you want to deny it, It's like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But the universe is like, hey, it's here. You know, this is you. So, yeah, for the entertainment section, I'm adding something to it. Just like I told you, I plan on doing some more news stories, but regular news, like local news stories across the US. Interesting, not necessarily wacky news, but interesting news. But yeah, just lots of things are happening right now. So be on the lookout. I'm looking forward to this, very, very forward to this. And I thank everyone who's taken the time to listen to this podcast, to like the Facebook page, or whatever you've done to support the show. Anything that anyone has ever done to support this podcast, this show, you have my sincere thanks and gratitude. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. And I really, really mean that. So let me get going. Facebook.com/KIRWKC if you're watching this on YouTube or Daily Motion. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the notification bell on YouTube. Until next time, be blessed.